Hello people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I am talking to a camera again. A camera, for some reason, it's acceptable to talk in and post on YouTube and people want to watch. I don't get it, but here I am, and I'm here in very autumnal themed clothing. Anyways, I wanted to talk about my short film that I uploaded last week. I'm not really good at behind the scenes. I'm not good at them in the sense that I've never really done one properly or even thought. I've been sort of like caught up in the production itself, and it's hard to take pictures, to step back and record some of the process. But I made a little bit of an effort in this case. The short film, if you haven't seen it, please watch it right here, or click in the link in the description, or just find it, because I don't want to spoil things for you. Ideas are important. Don't just pick up a camera. Know why you're going to pick up the camera before you do. The brain is really good at coming up with ideas, but horrible at remembering them. So I use what is unfortunately the most accessible notebook to a modern person, and that is a smartphone. In the past, I recorded all of my ideas in my Notes app. I would start with a bullet point that says begin, because it's annoying to add things to the top of any bulleted list. So I have a dummy bullet at the top, and I just hit return and then record an idea. So I'm always working from the top of this list. Now I'm using an app called Notion. It's a sort of productivity, whatever. What I can do very easily in Notion is create bulleted lists. That's pretty simple. But as I develop an idea, I can take that bulleted entry, I can keep it where it is, and convert it where it sits into its own page that I can start then, taking more detailed notes or writing out a script or that sort of stuff. And then as I move it into production, I can take it and move it somewhere else in the software so I can actually turn that original page into sort of my production document. Regardless, everything has to start with an idea. At some point, I must have been looking through my ideas, and this one just caught my eye, played in my head, nice and clear, and I thought, you know what, I could do this. It's the middle of a pandemic. It only requires one talent. I could light this myself. And I wrote up a script. I used this program called Writer Duet, as if I'm pretending to be an actual screenwriter or something like that. It doesn't matter what you type your script in, just get it down. These days I'm writing everything, including my notes for this video in Notion. Doesn't matter, just write a script. Especially when it comes to like super shorts like this, just get it down, sit down, take the time to imagine it and write it out so that anyone reading that script can visualize it as close to the finished product as possible. Anything that you need the buy-in or the interest of a bigger team, you need to put together what's called a director's treatment. Beyond the script, it's writing that helps frame the visuals, define camera movement, the overall tone, wardrobe, production, design, all of those things with picture references. It's sort of like a heavier duty mood board. With this one, it was very light. Really, it was the script with some mood board style imagery to help dial the tone in. Having a shot list is super important. I couldn't even find the shot list for this one. I think it was just in my Notes app. It's somewhere probably buried on my phone. So it was very simple, and I made sure I had all of my angles and beats so that we could leave set confident. So I sent it to my friend Nathan saying, hey, would you like to act in this? And he said no. He said, I would rather help you produce it to see how that end of it goes. But he also said, I have a friend, Andy, who would love to be in it. The next step was just really prepping for the shoot. I already knew the location. It's a really cool cottage. It had been sort of winterized. So I went in a day early with my daughter, Edith, and we cleared out where we wanted to shoot. We set up sort of our shots, roughly lit it. That's a really great luxury to be able to pre-light, especially knowing that I wanted to devote the shoot day mostly to Andy, to our talent, versus fussing with lights. I showed up early with Joel, who helped me out on the last shoot that I did. We set up the dolly that I built for my previous short. It's a sort of knockoff of what's called a Dana dolly. It's great. The only downside of a little dolly or a slider is the end of the track is in the foreground of your shot. Everything was sort of dressed and set, so it was just lighting, tweaking, and just really making sure to get our key wide shots in during daylight. I think we shot this at the end of October, so the days are starting to get short. Ready, and focus. Focus. And action. Eyes. One of the biggest pieces of this is pulling off the joke so it plays well. And that was a lot of fun to figure out. He's been typing his magnum opus and he screwed it all up. So getting that shot, the joke, was super key. We did about 30 takes of it. That's what I love about filmmaking so much, and that's what I love about actors so much and talent, is there's so much character just in how his fingers move. It was so cool seeing how some ways that he moved his hands just made us laugh. Others were kind of meh. And for me, that was the main thing about this. And I was so happy that it worked and that we pulled it off. Speaking of being happy, over the next few days, I sort of started to pull the footage together and I wasn't happy. I think that's a problem that a lot of directors have. I hear that it is. Just when you see your baby for the first time in the edit, your first reaction is that you hate it. And I get that every time as well. Editing and post-production is a huge process. So honestly, I shot this short at the end of October of last year. It's embarrassing. I sat it on the shelf. I got busy with other jobs. So at some point this year, I don't even remember when, I pulled it out and I tried to fix what wasn't working. Working through being an insecure creative person in the edit. I'm gonna save those for another video because the post process on this was quite a bit of fun and it turned out really great. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. You took time out of your day to watch a person talk to you through a camera on YouTube. A person who asked for your time. You didn't have to watch me, but you did. So I appreciate that. See you later.